Hey, I started off with this old ceramic urn I picked up at the Goodwill. I threw some E6000 glue on it with some hot glue and attached it to the back of this round wooden board. I also found at the Goodwill it had some just kind of spring sign on it. I went ahead and added a bunch of colored round beads to the outside simply by attaching it with hot glue. And then I went and I covered the entire thing in a white chalk paint. I gave it a good coat. And the graphic that was on there was a little raised, so I took some crumpled tissue paper and I Mod Podged it down on the surface of the round wood tray. I then went ahead and took this fleur-de-lis ornament that I had and traced it on to the top of my board, and then went ahead and gave it a black and white check design inspired by the fabulous Mackenzie Childs. I simply put that color on with some black enamel paint using a nice flat-headed brush to make sure that all of my cuts were nice and sharp. After I got done putting the black checks on there, I went over it with a black marker and I just outlined the fleur-de-lis. Once I had that all nice and dry, I took some black and clear wax and I simply brushed it all over the pedestal base and all the way around the beads and the wood board, and also on top of the board. I applied it, then I wiped it off with a paper towel and a baby wipe. I wanted to have that old world kind of Tuscan effect, so I did the entire thing, and you can see it really brought out the crinkles from the tissue paper and gave it that old aged look. I then took some liquid gold leaf and went over and around the entire fleur-de-lis, and then also added in some gold dots in between each check, and then added some decorative hot glue dots right in the middle of the fleur-de-lis, and I painted them with the liquid leaf as well. You can find all of my favorite links over at my website, which is pinned in the video description, so make sure you go over there and check that out. Once I got that all done, I did go ahead and add some black stripes and added some different colors and gave it a little bit of a whimsical bottom on the base, and I added some antique old rub and buff to the highlights of that down at the bottom also. And then for a finishing touch, I went ahead and added some medium-sized jute rope all the way around the outside of the beads, and then also along the inside of the beaded edge on top as well. And there you have it. It's fabulous.